Hello students, the lesson that we would be studying today is expansion of British power in India. This lesson is related to history. The topics that we would be covering in this lesson are mercantilism, new sea routes to the east, what was the chronology of the European trading companies in India. We would be also studying about the arrival of the Portuguese and the various Danish settlements in India, and lastly we would be covering the French East India Company and the English East India Company. Now, if you can see this map is basically showing us two countries. One is England and the next is India. England basically used to turn the raw materials into finished goods, and it used to send the finished goods to the Indian market for sale. While on the other hand, India used to send its raw material to England and it used to purchase the finished goods from England. Hence, what was mercantilism? Mercantilism is an economic policy that is designed to maximize the exports and minimize the imports for the economy. This theory basically became popular in Western Europe between the 16th and the 18th century. Essentially, this ideology was rooted in the principle that a country should make huge profits in overseas trades by protecting its interests against the foreign competition. And according to this policy, a trading company was supported by its own government. Next is that how and when did the new sea routes to the east was discovered? We see that the fall of the Constantinople to the Turkish Ottoman Empire blocked the overland trade routes from the Europe to the Indian subcontinent. Hence, that was the time when various explorers started undertaking voyages to find the new sea routes. Two very famous explorers were Vasco da Gama and Christopher Columbus. This basically is showing us the chronology of the European trading companies in India. In 1600, the English East India Company comes to India. In 1602, the Dutch East India Company comes into India. 1628, we see the Portuguese East India Company, and lastly in 1664, the French East India Company comes to India. Now, this map is basically showing us the arrival of the Portuguese in India. How did the Portuguese land to India? Taking help from Vasco da Gama, the Portuguese traders reached the Malabar coast in South India. Cochin, Goa, Daman and Diu were some of the places where they established their own settlements. The Portuguese also conquered Diu in 1509 and Goa in 1510. Shortly afterwards, they captured Calicut, besides establishing control over Hooghly in the east. And one important thing is that due to their superior armed ships, navigational skills, disciplined soldiers, and their able administrators, the Portuguese were also able to establish their hold. But slowly and steadily, most of these possessions were taken over by the Dutch and the British in due course of time. The next settlement is basically showing us few Danish settlements in India. The trading centers of the Dutch were set up at Surat, Ahmedabad, Nagapattinam and Masulipattnam. Who were the Dutch? The Dutch were basically the people who hailed from Holland or from Netherlands. Their real interest laid in doing trade with the Indo-Asian islands. Hence, they were mostly engaged in doing a spice trade with the countries of the Far East. They were defeated by the British, who took control of the Indian possession by the mid of the 18th century. Next map is basically showing us the various settlements of the French in India. In India, the early French settlements included Pondicherry. In 1668, the first French factory was also established at Surat. And in the middle of the 18th century, when Dupleix was appointed the governor, his ambition of establishing a French empire in India brought him into direct conflict with the British. This led to a series of Anglo-French wars, which we would be discussing in the next video. This map is basically showing us the various European settlements in India. As you can see that mostly the western, southern and the eastern parts of India was captured by various European settlements, whether it be the French, whether it be the Portuguese or the Dutch, or whether it be the Britishers. Now let us discuss about the English East India Company. The English East India Company was basically granted the monopoly of trade with the East by Queen Elizabeth. Sir Thomas Roe also obtained the right to do trade from the Mughal ruler Jahangir, and hence Surat became the first British settlement on the western coast. That was also the time when in 1639 Fort St. George was built at Madras. Even in the year 1668, King Charles II of England got the city of Bombay as his dowry following his marriage to the Portuguese princess. In 1790, the British built Fort William in Calcutta, and slowly they traded in cotton, tea, indigo and saltpeter. In 1717, the Mughal Emperor Farrukhsiyar also granted the British the right to do trade in Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Soon, the English East India Company managed to win over most of the Portuguese and Dutch establishments. However, they faced a very stiff resistance from the French, which resulted in a series of wars which came to be known as the Carnatic Wars. Hence, in the year 1600, when the English East India Company came, from a mere trading company, the Britishers slowly and steadily it gained control over the entire Indian subcontinent. How did they do that? What was their war strategy? What were the various policies and tricks played by the British East India Company to gain control over the Indian subcontinent? We would be discussing that in the next video. Thank you and have a nice day.